Right on, how's it going? Now we're here again to talk a little bit more about food and how you quantify it, how you refer to food. You say how much or how many, depending on the items. If you know that food is divided into countable and uncountable nouns, then there is a right way of saying it, right? Well, there are some things that we buy food in, we sell food in. They're called containers. Containers, something that contains an amount of something. So these are some examples of containers. And what you have to do, you have to listen and to associate them with their names right here. Okay, so let's listen to them.
4.35. 1. A bottle. 2. A packet. 3. A box. 4. A carton. 5. A can. 6. A jar. 7. A tin.
A tin. All right, so these are some examples of containers. You have a bottle of milk, a packet of biscuits, a box of chocolate, a carton of juice, a can of Coke or soda, a jar of jam, and a tin of maybe tomatoes. I don't know. Now, you're going to listen to 5 sentences, then you have to write them down. Okay, so this exercise here, you have to listen and write the 5 sentences. So let me show you here. Number 36, is it?
4.36. 1. A bottle of oil. 2.
A packet of rice.
3. A tin of tomatoes. 4.
A box of cereal.
5. A carton of soup.
Right? Did you get it right? If you haven't, go back and listen to it again until you can write down all the 5 sentences. Okay? Now, after you finish, we're going to check it out.
4.36. 1. A bottle of oil. 2.
A packet of rice.
3. A tin of tomatoes. 4.
A box of cereal.
5. A carton of soup.
Okay, so these are the 5 sentences. All right? Sometimes you can buy soup in a box. I don't know. People buy things, different kinds of containers. All right? Now, I want you to look at these words here. Let me do this again. Okay. And you have to make phrases with them. You know, what's the difference between a phrase and a sentence? A sentence has a verb. A phrase doesn't have a verb, right? A phrase is like a packet of biscuits, right? You see the word biscuits here, and you can associate them with these containers. So what do you say? A packet of biscuits? Chocolates. What can you say? What kind of container do you use for chocolates? That's right, a box of chocolates. Okay. Now, Coke. What kind of container do you use for Coke? It can be a can of Coke, right? Crisps. So do them all, right? Try to associate containers with these words. I'll give you a minute. Okay. Now that you've done it, we're going to check it out again. Now, let me get out of here. A packet of biscuits. A box of biscuits. A box of chocolates. A bottle of Coke. A can of Coke. A packet of crisps. A carton of juice. A bottle of juice. A jar of jam. A bottle of milk. A carton of milk. A packet of salt. A box of salt. A packet of sugar. A box of sugar. A tin of tuna. Or a can of tuna. Okay, so these are some examples of how you can associate these words making phrases, right? Using the containers and the food, all right? So there are some differences between American and British English. Some of them call them biscuits, and some other, the Americans call it cookies. Doesn't matter, right? So cookies or biscuits, okay? Now, this is something else. A tin of tuna or a can of tuna. In American English, you can call it a can of tuna, but this is tuna. This is not sardines, right? Sardine is different from tuna. All right. There are some differences between these words. Package, packet, packaging, packing, pack. All these words sound almost the same to us foreigners, but there is a little difference. Now you can pause and read this for your further information. But basically, in British English, a packet is a box, a bag, or some other container that things are sold in, like a packet of biscuits, a packet of crisps, like we saw before. But in America, you can also call it a package of cookies and a package of crisps. Depending on where you are, you use a different word for them, all right? A packet can also sometimes be called a pack of cigarettes, right? This is the basic difference between American and British English. Now, pause the video and take a look at this information here, right? Now, this is another slide that contains information about differences between American and British English. Some examples here, like I referred to before: tuna, sardines, right? Baked beans, tin or can. A tin of sardines or can of sardines, a tin of tuna, can of tuna, it's the same, right? So these are some words and their containers. Okay, now you can pause the video again and take a good look at them. All right? Now move on. We're going to go back to the book and do this exercise here right now. Quantifiers. How do you measure the amount of food? How do you quantify it? Right? So these are some examples of how to quantify food. A lot, quite a lot. It's like medium, a little, and none. There is none. There isn't any. Now, look at the pictures at the bottom of the page, then ask and answer questions about the food. Now, this is a dialogue model. Look, one is asking the question, and the other is answering. So how much sugar is there in dark chocolate? I'm not sure. I think there's a lot. So these are the pictures. Let me make this a little smaller for you to see. Okay. Now let's bring it back here. Okay, so you have sugar and salt. Okay, so these are the foods. I don't think you can call them foods, but anyway, this is dark chocolate, egg, apple, and Coke. And this is crisps, a slice of bread, olive oil, and mineral water. All right. So how much sugar is there in dark chocolate? How much sugar is there in an apple? How much sugar is there in a Coke, in a can of Coke? How much sugar is there in an egg? These are the questions you have to ask, right? And then you can answer by referring to these quantities here. Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. If you are not sure, you don't know exactly, right? And the same for these ones as well. How much salt is there in a packet of crisps? How much salt is there in a packet of crisps? Well, I don't know. In a slice of bread. How much do you think there is? How much salt is there in a bottle of olive oil or in a bottle of mineral water? Yeah. Now, we're going to go to this section here. You can go to your book on page 109 and check the answers. Okay. So let's bring it here. Okay. How much sugar and salt? I'm whistling here because it's very cold. Sugar. Now, according to the American Heart Association, a woman should have no more than 20 grams of sugar a day, 5 teaspoons, and a man no more than 36 grams, 9 teaspoons. A can of Coke has approximately 35 grams of sugar. An apple has approximately 23 grams of sugar. A small 40-gram bar of dark chocolate has approximately 7 grams of sugar, and an egg doesn't have any sugar. So how much sugar is there in a can of Coke? Approximately, or about, 35 grams. How much sugar is there in an apple? About 23 grams. How much sugar is there in a bar of dark chocolate? Approximately 7 grams. And how much sugar is there in an egg? There isn't any sugar. An egg doesn't have any sugar. So you don't say there is none sugar. No, there isn't any sugar. Now the same questions for salt. According to UK government studies, an adult should eat no more than 6 grams of salt a day. A packet of crisps has approximately 3 grams of salt. A slice of white bread has approximately 0.5 grams of salt. A bottle of mineral water has approximately 0.0023 grams of salt, and a bottle of olive oil doesn't have any salt. Okay, so this is according to UK government studies. The questions are, how much salt is there in a packet of crisps? About 3 grams of salt, or approximately 3 grams of salt. Second question, how much salt is there in a slice of white bread? About 0.5. How much salt is there in a bottle of mineral water? How much salt is there in a bottle of olive oil? Now, you have to remember that we have some quantifiers. A lot, quite a lot, a little, and none. Yeah? So take a look at this. How much salt is there in a packet of crisps? 3 grams. Is this a lot, quite a lot, a little, or, nothing? Yeah? Okay. So we're going to go back to it and see the answers again. Now you have to complete this exercise over here. Let me go back to it. Okay. Now you have to complete the sentences with food or drink from A. Yeah. From these pictures here. Okay. Now, there isn't any salt in. Now you take a look at the salty foods, a packet of crisps, a slice of white bread, a bottle of olive oil, and a bottle of mineral water. Now, which one doesn't have any salt? Do you remember? Now go back the video and you will see it. So there isn't any salt in a bottle of olive oil. Yeah. Now you have to complete this exercise here. So there is a little sugar in. Now these are the pictures for the sugar: an egg, a dark chocolate, an apple, and a can of Coke. And there is a little sugar in. Go back the video and answer these 4 questions over here. Okay. So this is another example of how to use quantifiers. Basically, you use these 2 formats, these 2 questions: how much and how many. Yeah, you use how much for uncountable nouns and how many for countable. Yeah, how much sugar do you put in your tea? Now you have to complete these other 9 questions here using how much or how many. Butter. Can you count butter? 1 butter, 2 butters? No, it's uncountable. So you say, how much butter do you use? It's uncountable. Okay. Cans of cola. Can you count cans of cola? Yes, you can. 1 can of cola, 2 cans of cola, etc. So this is countable. You say, how many? How many cans of cola does she drink? Right? So move on with the rest of the exercise and complete the questions. Okay? You can go to your own book if you want to. All right, let me go back to it. Now we're going to go to exercise number 3, which is about pronunciation. Here again. Okay. Now we're going to listen to the pronunciation of these words. 38. No, well, there was something before, I guess. Oh yeah, sorry. Let me show you this before. This is an example of how to use the quantifiers when you're asking and answering questions, right? So let's listen to it.
4.37.
How much sugar do you eat?
A lot. I eat a lot of sugar.
Quite a lot. I eat quite a lot of sugar.
A little. I eat a little sugar.
Not much. I don't eat much sugar.
None. I don't eat any sugar.
How many sweets do you eat?
A lot. I eat a lot of sweets.
Quite a lot. I eat quite a lot of sweets.
A few. I eat a few sweets.
Not many. I don't eat many sweets.
None. I don't eat any sweets.
All right, all right. Sweets or candy, in America you call it candy. It comes from the word cane sugar. It's the same, right? It's made of sugar, basically. So these are some examples of how to say how much you eat of something, right? This is all, in the first example, it's uncountable, and in the second is countable. So you use these short answers for them, right? So whenever somebody is asking you about how much you drink of something or you eat of something that is uncountable, you can use these quantifiers here. How much milk do you drink every day? I drink a lot of milk. I don't drink, I drink quite a lot of milk, or I don't drink any milk at all. So, how much beer do you drink on weekends? I don't drink any beer. I drink a lot of beer. Yeah, depending on how much you drink, you answer, because this is uncountable. It is uncountable. But if you can count them, you have to use the other ones here. How many sweets do you eat? A lot, quite a lot, a few. A few is when you can count, right? Some of them. For example, how many eggs do you eat every day? Well, you can say, I eat a few eggs. A few eggs means, I don't know, 2, 3, or 4 eggs a day. A few eggs, not many. Many would be like 12. Yeah. When you can count, you say a few. Yeah. What else can you say? How many apples do you eat every day? I eat a few apples. 3, 4, 5 apples. A few apples. Yeah. I don't eat any apples. So a few is used when you can count. Yeah. For example, we are studying English right now, and there are a few students studying English right now. There are about 6 or 10 students, a few students. Yeah? But if you say, well, there are many students watching the lesson right now, there are a lot of students watching the lesson right now. Yeah. Okay, so these are the examples you can use for countables and uncountables. Okay. Now let's go back to the pronunciation I said before. Listen and repeat the words and the sounds. This is 48. Let's go.
4.38. Shower. Sh. Sugar. Fish. Snake. Sa. Salt. Sweets.
Okay, you see the basic difference here? Sha, sh, and s. Shower, sugar, fish, not fish. Yeah, I'm whistling. Fish, sugar, fish, snake, salt, sweets. Yeah. Now you have to pay attention because you have to listen to all these words here in exercise B, 439, and you have to put the words in the right column. You put them in the column of S, in the column of sh, and the column of S. Right? So I'm going to play them for you to listen to.
4.39. Shower. Sugar. Fish. Delicious. Fresh. Information. Reception. Shopping. Special. Sure.
Snake. Salt. Sweets. Cereal. Cinema. Center. Rice. Crisps. Salad. Science.
All right. Maybe you should listen to it again. Divide the words into 2 columns: the shower and sugar and fish, and the snake, salt, and sweets. Okay. And then you write them down. So listen to it again.
4.39. Shower. Sugar. Fish. Delicious. Fresh. Information. Reception. Shopping. Special. Sure.
Snake. Salt. Sweets. Cereal. Cinema. Center. Rice. Crisps. Salad. Science.
Okay, do it until you can complete the exercise. Now, there is a conversation here emphasizing the sounds of S and sh. Now, we're going to listen to it.
4.40.
Are you sure this is salt? I think it's sugar.
No, I'm sure it's salt. I put some in the rice salad.
Let's taste the salad. Ah! It was sugar, I told you.
Sorry.
Again.
4.40.
Are you sure this is salt? I think it's sugar.
No, I'm sure it's salt. I put some in the rice salad.
Let's taste the salad. Ah! It was sugar, I told you.
Sorry.
Okay, now what you have to do is you have to listen to this conversation and you have to record it. So to see if you're going to pronounce the sounds correctly, right? So I want you to listen to this and repeat it, and then you're going to record your own version of this conversation, being the two characters, and then you're going to post it in the classroom, okay? This is for the classroom activity. Now, to finish the lesson, there would be a conversation here, but since we're in online lessons, I just want you to complete with how much or how many. So you go to your book and you complete the sentences using how much or how many. First thing you have to do, you have to identify if these foods are countable or uncountable, right? So spoonfuls of sugar. The spoons are full. So the spoonfuls of sugar, can you count them? 1 spoon, 2 spoons? Yeah, you can count. You cannot count sugar, but you can count the spoons, right? So what do you use here? How many? How many spoonfuls of sugar do you have in your tea or coffee? And then you choose one of the answers, right? 3 or more, 2, 1, or none. Then you have to answer your own questions. I mean, to do them with your own answers. Can you count cans of cola? Can you count them? Yes, you can. So what do you use? How much or how many? How many? How many cans of cola or other fizzy drinks do you drink a day? Now you complete about the sugar part. How many, how much, and then you answer them. And you do the same for this other part about the salt. How often do you put salt to your food at the table? Do you always add salt? Do you often add salt? Sometimes or never? How often? Every day, sometimes, always, often, never, okay? Now, takeaway food do you eat? Is it how much or how many? How much takeaway food or how many takeaway food do you eat? Now you pay attention and you complete it, right? Can you count takeaway food? Can you count bread? Do you count bread or the slices of bread? So what do you say? How much bread or how many bread? That's right, how much bread? Now complete the exercise and answer your own questions, I mean, in your own way. And then we're going to practice later on. Now, this is an exercise, a drilling exercise for you to practice questions and answers. So if you are A, there will be 2 students. One says the sentences and the other asks the questions. For example, you look at the word here, fish, and you can say how much fish you eat, right? I eat a lot of fish. And then what is the question? How often do you eat fish? Or how much fish do you eat? How often do you eat fish? This is asking you about the frequency you eat each kind of food. How often do you eat potatoes? That is, how many times in a week or in a month you eat potatoes? How often, how frequently do you eat potatoes? I never eat potatoes. I often eat potatoes. I always eat potatoes. Doesn't matter. It matters how you use the adverbs of frequency, okay? Now, I want you to ask questions about all these foods here. Yeah, you just turn them into this example here. How often do you, right? How often do you eat meat? How often do you eat potatoes? How often do you eat vegetables, right? Etc. So write all the questions down, and then we're going to practice the answers. And there is another exercise here, which is the last one, which is the title of the lesson about white gold. We're going to listen to this, and you have to complete as you listen to the exercise. White gold, fascinating facts about sugar and salt. Okay, so let's move on.
At different times in history, both sugar and salt were called white gold because they were so expensive and difficult to get. But there are many more interesting facts about sugar and salt. Christopher Columbus introduced to the New World in 1493 on his second voyage. If you eat too much, about 1 gram per kilogram of weight, you can die. This was a method of ritual suicide in ancient China. Salzburg in Austria was called the city of because of its mines. If you want to check if an egg is fresh, put it in a cup with water and if the egg floats, it isn't very fresh. In Brazil, fuel made from is used in cars instead of petrol. Americans eat or drink about 2.25 kilos of a month. Is used to make glass, washing powder and paper. Kills some bacteria and so helps food to last longer, which is why bacon and cheese contain a lot. If you put into a vase of flowers, the flowers last longer. Only contains energy. It doesn't contain any vitamins or minerals. Sure and are the only two words in the English language that begin with SU and are pronounced sh. We need to have a little in our diet, but not more than 6 grams a day, which is about 1 teaspoon.
All right. This is the exercise for lesson 9B. Let me go back to it, which is called the white gold. No, this is not working. Yeah, white gold. Now I want you to practice the quantifiers, saying these words all the time. Remember how to use them, using all these expressions here when you talk about food. Yeah, a lot, quite a lot, a little, not much, and none for uncountable, and a lot, quite a lot, a few, not many, and none for countable. So I don't want to confuse you, but look, the difference here is basically in a few and a little, when you can count them and when you cannot count them. Okay, so this was the lesson for today. Keep practicing. See you.